According to the central bank, Kenyan banks hold almost 2 trillion shillings in customer deposits in their coffers. This money represents the savings and the hard work of ordinary Kenyans who think their money is safe. They should think again if the recent looting of their funds is anything to go by.
I went to the ATM to withdraw some cash, 15,000 to be exact. Then after doing the transaction and everything, I got the receipt, but the money didn't come out. So I took the receipt, went to the bank to file a complaint. Then I was told that it's not valid. As long as I got the receipt, they're not sure if I did get the money or I didn't get the money. So that's how the money went, and they couldn't do anything about it.
Collins Kiplangat is one of the many cases of people who have had their money stolen from them. According to the December 2012 CID report, there are over 80 bank fraud cases pending before Kenyan judges. It's anyone's guess just how much money has been stolen.
A study we did last year covering a period of about 18 months from 2011 all the way to the middle of 2012 revealed that the banks in East Africa had lost about $48 million to fraud, which is about 4 billion shillings collectively within the industry. And that is quite significant. That is quite significant. And of that, the lion's share is in Kenya. Probably about 40% of that, and the remainder is split between Uganda and Tanzania. And it's interesting, even though Kenyan banks are usually a few months ahead in terms of new ways of dealing with it, there was actually quite a bit of most of the losses, the largest quantum of the losses was still in Kenya.
Kenyan banks are losing close to $500 million shillings every month through fraudulent cases. This stems from mobile banking, internet banking, or through ATM machines. We sought to find out, is technology becoming a blessing or a curse?
The reports that came out especially towards the end of last year, and which was to the general public a little bit alarming, because there appeared to have been a spate of attempts on banks and especially the ATMs. And the ATM outlets were specifically at risk. And this is not something that was completely new to the industry. We have been always alert to the fact that our ATM system could be vulnerable. And the reason why that vulnerability comes about is because of the movement in technology. The old technology, which had what you call the magnetic stripe card system, as opposed to where the movement is, where the system is moving towards, where we've got a more modern, the so-called EMV compliant card system, which is the pin and chip. And the pin and chip technology is much harder to clone and replicate a card than the current magnetic stripe system.
Kenya has over 17 million internet users. It ranks in the top 4 on the continent in internet penetration. It's an accolade most Kenyans are proud of. But all this technology has come with the scourge of the criminally intent tech-savvy thieves who have devised rogue softwares.
Banking industry in East Africa and globally is very dynamic, and there's always new channels of delivery, service delivery being launched, and most of the time underpinned by innovative technology, and that's a good thing. It brings about efficiencies. I'm sure a lot of people that you're talking to these days are talking about mobile banking and online banking and all these things. As much as these are innovative ways of delivering services to your customers, they come with enhanced risks. And that's why you have to actually keep your innovation in terms of service delivery and channel delivery in tandem with the control frameworks that you actually roll out to deal with the risks, so that you're not innovating on the one hand and pleasing your customers, but losing money on the back end, which is what actually happens with some institutions.
Another worrying development is that staff employed to keep your money safe are complicit. In the last quarter of 2012, bank staff wired an estimated 17 million shillings of your money to bogus accounts.
A lot of the frauds being committed in the banking industry in Kenya, the region, and globally actually have employees are normally involved. As unfortunate as that is, there's usually there's an inside angle to it, and as a result of this, what we're advising our clients who are banks is they need to step up the rigor with which they do background checks on employees, key employees, all key positions within the bank. They need to do thorough background checks of these people, who are they recruiting, and also within some sections like IT, because most frauds in banks, I could tell you, upwards of 90% involve IT people and probably somebody else in accounts, etc. Because banking is this day is underpinned to a very significant degree by technology.
So what measures can one take while withdrawing from an ATM?
If you make it difficult for them to get the PIN number, they will not be able to access your card. So there are just basic things that when you enter the ATM machine, you need to be alert to. For example, even just simply covering your card, because that camera will be somewhere within the ATM cabinet. And so just by covering your card, as you punch in the numbers, it can safeguard your PIN number. And also, rather than using one finger to key in your PIN number, just by using both fingers, it then makes it difficult for somebody to intercept and be able to read the number you're putting in. So just basic things. Also, as you enter the cabinet, you can be able to just physically observe the ATM machine and see whether something has been tampered with. Most probably this gadget will be something that is hanging there that is loose. So just by touching it, you can be able to see something that can easily be, removed. And that way you can be able to tell that something is wrong here. And rather than risk, don't use it.
The government has shown some resolve in dealing with the problem. They have created a special banking fraud investigation unit.
The lowest hanging fruit right now, it's not an easy step to take from a costing perspective, but the lowest hanging fruit right now is actually the movement to chip and pin. From an acquiring standpoint, the chip and pin technology lends itself very much to completing that mitigation loop that magstripe vulnerabilities are being exploited. So take care of chip and pin, you really take care of a lot of the issues in this market.
It remains to be seen if this will be effective enough, for there are many weak links in banking system networks.
The Kenyan banks need to step up and curb this issue, because for the common mwananchi it's very painful, because it's the little money you get that we have to survive with. There's nothing you can do about it, so it's up to the banks.
Continuous staff training, rigorous banking system checks and regular support have been identified as a solution to the problem. At stake here is 1 billion shillings every month and the public's confidence in the bank's ability to keep their money safe. For Ion Kenya, I am Laban-Cliff, Onserio.